welcome back to my channel. So I'm not gonna lie, this is the third time I've tried to film this video. The first time the files accidentally got deleted, and the second time I was halfway through editing when I realized that I totally forgot to say the second point. So hopefully third time's a charm and we can just knock this out now. So if you're new here, my name is Rachel. I go to California State University, Northridge, also known as CSUN, and I am sort of a senior. I'm going into my 4th year, but I'm not graduating this year because I'm in a 5-year program. Anyway, yeah, so I started out at community college for my first 2 years, and then I transferred to Cal State Northridge my junior year, which was last year, and I'm going into my 2nd year there, my 4th year of college. Yeah. So these are 5 things that I learned in college/university that I wish I had known when I started. Number 1, on campus things are always more expensive. This includes student housing, textbooks, even just like buying food or whatever. Everything's gonna be more expensive on campus than off campus. Housing is more expensive, however, it's a really great experience, so if you can afford it, I recommend it, but don't go into debt over it. Also, if you are going to live in housing, meal plans are way more expensive than just getting a kitchen and making your own food. Trust me on this. The only caveat to that is that if you think you're gonna end up just actually ordering takeout all the time and not cooking, get a meal plan, because that's still cheaper than ordering takeout. Also, don't buy your textbooks at the bookstore. Don't do it. I'm still shocked every time I hear about a freshman just going to the bookstore and getting all their textbooks. I thought that this was common knowledge, but apparently it's not. Don't buy your textbooks at the bookstore. That is the most expensive they will ever be. Most textbooks you can get on Amazon or eBay or different textbook websites that are way cheaper. If you can find a PDF download, that is probably going to be your cheapest option, unless you find a used one from a private person that they're selling really cheap. Also, check out around campus if you can. See if you can find other students who maybe have already finished that class that are willing to sell their textbook to you. That's going to be a lot cheaper. There are instances where you need to buy it from the bookstore, which is if you need it right then for a class, or if it's that literally you can't get it anywhere else. There are some really rare textbooks you just can't find anywhere else. Also, occasionally you'll find a textbook that's just the same price across the board. So there's that. Also, renting is always a good option. There will be very few textbooks that you ever have a reason to look back at, so don't worry about owning them. They're just gonna take up space in your room. Number 2. Honestly, college isn't really harder than high school. At least for me. Now this strongly depends on your high school experience, your school, and your major. STEM majors, yeah, it is harder. College is harder if you're a STEM major. I started out as a STEM major, and then I changed to Deaf Studies in my first semester as a freshman. It wasn't because it was too hard, really. There were other reasons involved, but in general, college is not as hard as high school tries to tell you it is. Now once you get into upper division is harder than lower division. It's much more demanding, there's a lot more work expected of you, but it's still completely doable if you put in the time and show up to class. So just don't stress over it. I know some people going into their freshman year, they're like, oh my gosh, it's gonna be so hard. It's not. You can do it. It's doable. You just have to put in the work, and yeah, some people are gonna have to put in more work than other people, depending on your natural aptitude and your major, and there's a lot of factors. But just don't stress over it. It's not that bad. Number 3, don't take too many units. In high school, the way they count units is completely different than college, and you will have to learn how they count units in college. But basically a unit is an hour in class and an hour outside class of work per week is how it's counted in college. At least on the semester system. My college is on the semester system. I'm not really familiar with the other systems, so when I talk about like unit numbers, this applies to the semester system, but you can still get the idea. That being said, you only have so many hours in a week, and you have other commitments outside of school. If school's all you're doing, you're gonna be depressed. Please don't do that to yourself. Make sure you're doing other things outside of school and don't overload yourself. My sophomore year, my first semester, I took 20 units. Don't do that. I thought at that point, like, I thought I could do anything, because I'd taken 17 units the semester before and I was totally fine. There's a really big difference in those last 3 units, apparently. I wanted to die. It was so hard. I had no time outside of homework and being at class. I had no time for anything. And I was at community college then. That was lower division. And it was horrible. The community college didn't really have a unit limit. Their unit limit was 21 units, which is not, in fact, a challenge. Don't do it. Don't hit the unit limit. But really, for me, 17 is like the most units I should take. I'm usually fine about there. If I get up to 18, 19, that's just too much. So know yourself. Know your limits. Know what you can reasonably do. Also factor in other parts in your life. When I took 20 units, I was also working 2 jobs. I was doing sports, church, family obligations. Like, I had a lot going on outside of that, and most of that stuff was getting pushed aside because I was just trying to survive that semester and not fail all my classes. So just take into account your situation and your circumstances. I'm usually a pretty good student. I'm pretty efficient at doing my homework, but that was just way too much. So really, I feel like there are very, very few people who can survive doing more than like 17, 18 units. A lot of people just do 12 units a semester because that's like what's required for full-time and financial aid and everything. And that's totally great. If you can do that and get through in the amount of time that you want to, that's awesome. Totally, definitely do that. Just don't overload yourself. Whatever you do, you'll regret it. Number 4. Okay, this is kind of more of a suggestion than like you need to do this, but that's to make friends with your teachers. Of course, you're not going to be like good friends with every single teacher you have, but those few teachers that you know you're either going to be taking multiple times because of classes, either teachers that teach a lot of the classes in your major, teachers you just like, teachers in classes you like or subjects you're interested in. Make friends with those teachers if you can. Try to participate in class, interact with the teacher, before and after class. Just, try to get them to like you, because there's a lot of opportunities that teachers can give you that you wouldn't have gotten otherwise. If that's like better involvement in clubs, volunteer opportunities, possibly even like internships, opportunities to be a teacher's aide, all kinds of different things. With my major being a language class, that's kind of standard in language classes, that you usually get close to your teachers because it's very interactive and everything. But in any class, you can interact with your teacher and make friends with them, and that can help you. You don't have to. You'll still graduate and probably get a good job, but it can just help you get a little bit ahead and make your college experience a little bit more fun. Alright, and number 5, don't expect yourself to be organized. I know there's the whole stereotype of college students are a disorganized mess, and you know what? That's 100% true. You just are. College is hard. Living on your own is hard. It's just hard. You're learning how to be an adult, and that's hard. So cut yourself some slack. You see those like fancy blogs and stuff that are like the super aesthetic, like study blogs. I've got some news for you. Those people don't even live that way. You can't. It's just not possible. Nobody has the time or energy to make everything that beautiful and aesthetic. I'm not saying that those vlogs are lying to you. They're just not meant to be an example of a lifestyle, a way to live. They're supposed to motivate you, make you see studying as something that can be really fun and nice and relaxing and pretty, which is a great thing. And if you want to be like that, if you want your studying to be like that, or even to have a blog like that or something, you can do that. You just have to understand that that's not going to be your regular everyday life. A lot of them, they have the beautiful like bullet journal notes with the different types of like pins, and it's all pretty and stuff. They don't take their notes that way in class. Very few people can do that. Because 9 times out of 10, you're running to class 5 minutes late, running off nothing but coffee. You've slept like 2 hours in the last 3 days, and you're not hearing anything the teacher is saying. You're just scribbling down whatever's written on the board. And so your notes aren't gonna look like that. But if you want it to look like that, you can come home and rewrite your notes with all of the pretty like colors and everything. And that can be a way of studying for a lot of people. I don't personally do that because it just doesn't work for me. But you can totally do that. Just understand that that's not what your entire life is going to look like. That's just going to be a little thing that you're going to do on the side for fun and to help you motivate yourself to study. Alright, and then one bonus one that I can't really add to the list because I did know this before I started college because my mom told me, because she made this mistake. And that is, whatever you do, for the love of all things holy, do not take 8 a.m. classes. I don't care if you're one of those people that woke up at like 4 a.m. and you got to class at like 5 all through high school. You can't do it in college. You can't. You're gonna be... In high school, if you don't show up, like, they come find you. Like, they're gonna call your parents. They're gonna find out, like, why you're not there. You're gonna get in trouble. In college, if you don't show up, no one really cares. Like, no one's gonna notice if you don't come to class most of the time. And so there's not gonna be that, like, immediate, like, I'm gonna get in trouble. All that's gonna happen is your grades are gonna drop and your GPA is gonna drop, and that's gonna really screw you over. So don't do that. And then especially if you're living on your own, it's gonna be really hard to get up in the morning and go to class at 8 a.m. because your parents aren't gonna be there to make you do it. And the best way to succeed in a class is to show up to that class. So yeah, your first semester in college, my rule is I don't take anything earlier than 9 a.m. Last semester I had to take a class at 8:30 because I had no other options, and it was awful. But your first semester, don't take anything earlier than 9 a.m. It's already a huge transition into college. I said before that the work isn't harder, and I still believe that the work in college is not much harder than high school. But just the overall environment and everything, just being in college is a big transition, especially if you're moving out of the house for the first time. Don't overload yourself that first semester. Don't expect too much of yourself that first semester. If you're doing great with the 9 a.m.s the first semester, and you feel like you can go earlier, next semester you can try maybe one 8 a.m. class. Try to choose a class that's not as important and or meets like once a week, in case it just doesn't work out. And if that goes great, then sure, by all means, take 8 a.m. classes. There are people who can do it, but there are more people that cannot do it, that think they can do it, than there are people who can actually do it. So don't set yourself up for failure. Don't take 8 a.m.s your first semester, basically. Alright, that was my 5 tips plus 1 extra for starting college or university. I hope you enjoyed this video. If it helped you, please like and subscribe to my channel to see more. And comment below if you have any questions about anything I said or any ideas for future videos that you would like me to make. Also, if you have any other tips about college, leave them below. Hopefully it'll help somebody else. And I'm going to try to continue to post at least once a week. I do have some interesting stuff that is going on in regards to college that I will be discussing in a video soon. I want to get the details locked down a little bit more before I actually like make a video about it. But yeah, there will be more college related vlogs coming very soon. So yeah, until then, I will see you later. Bye!